not your word, I'm going to erase it. Am I clear?
Let me put this here so I can get the full view.
What does it mean? Glass?
Another word for this? Like age?
No.
I went to an event on the weekend and he was like age 30. It's like you look age 30.
Sorry,
Yeah?
No, he meant like.
He's deaf?
Yes.
Never mind, let's see. That's one of those words you just put in the back of your head, like, okay.
It takes forever.
I'm not going to argue and I'm not going to use it. Okay? Okay, so when we invade, what do?
Take over.
Take over, right? So what do we need to have set up first?
The place.
Exactly, the place. So whatever country you're talking about, have the other country, okay? And they went and, like, see if you wanted to say they went in and took over, right? Okay. Now if they tried to invade and they failed, right? So if they went into invade and then failed, okay. Does that make sense? Okay. For emperor, you can do the same sign like we did for king with the E. Okay. Emperor.
That's the same for like
Emperor.
Mayor, king, queen.
Emperor.
There's another one.
King.
That's a lefty. Which way do I go with that?
Opposite. Same thing.
So this way, right? Okay.
Oh, monarch. Monarch, sorry.
Not for monarch.
Wait, CQ?
Oh, my.
So when I'm doing king or queen, it's from here to here, or is it here to
Whatever
here?
opposite, whatever hand you're using, it's your opposite shoulder.
So it's like emperor.
Mhm.
Okay.
So far, so good? Okay. Conquers, conquer. That's how it used to be. Not be the person. Like beat in competition.
It goes to a V.
Okay. Yep.
Conquered. Conquered.
Okay.
Conquered. Beat.
Died. Are you kidding me? What's the sign for died?
Dead finish.
Die finish. Okay. A tribe. I would say a group. Depending on how you're setting it up. But you'd spell it if you want to say tribe, and then either show the tribe or do it as a group. Either one. Rule.
Rule.
Good. Gabby's got it. What is it?
What is
It's like this.
What is it?
X hands or
Yeah.
What's another word for this sign?
I got you.
Explain.
Nope.
Argue.
Control.
Control. Good. Manage.
That's where explain is. That's what I get out of it.
Explain. Excellent.
Explain.
Region. What do you think? Area.
Area.
Many. If you need me to slow down, you need to tell me. Because I'll just keep running through them.
I have a question. Like, if you want to say something is regional, how would you do that? So
Are you
just
using
like,
that region?
so like, so you'd be like sign language is regional? Would you
No.
just go
Sign
like that?
language is national with regional differences.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Would you mind signing that for me?
So you'd say ASL for the whole country,
But in like Russia's
I hope you were paying
perspective,
attention to
right?
that because I did not get that.
Russia? Did you
You're
say
saying the
Russia?
whole country.
Same sign language, but different. Or if you say languages, so they could say one country, but language is different. I don't know what you're. Generally, right, Russian. They all spoke Russian, and then their own languages, right? And then everybody had to learn Russian, and then they spoke Ukrainian, right? So now it's different. Well, we have to know they broke up, right? So if you go back historically, you can say it was many countries that became Russia. So everybody spoke Russian, and then a second language was their own.
I'm talking about RSL, I guess Russian sign. Same thing.
Okay. Many, sign for many. Right?
What?
Maria's got it.
I can't see it.
Roberto's got it.
So, like that?
Up. Many.
Many?
Mhm.
Many. Many.
After. Whose is this? What do you want to say? After the war. War finished.
What's war?
War.
War.
B.
Four hands.
War.
This way, elbows up. War. That's right. Okay, so war finished. And there's a kind of like your timeline. So the war's finished, and then whatever you're gonna say. Leave. What do you mean?
led the troops. Yeah. Led troops somewhere.
Like literally?
Yeah, like money.
Show it. So if you've got the military, you've got them, and whoever he is, do you mean that literally? Or you like they led them to victory?
Lead French troops against.
Oh, so he was the boss. This he was not. Right? He wasn't taking the first shot. So, it's I can't think of the word I want to say in English to describe that, but it's not hungry. He was the boss. He was responsible for the planning. If you need to, he planned it. He set up the strategies. Whatever. Okay. Troops. What do you think?
Would it be something like troop?
Well, I just signed one of the most obvious words that you probably want to go to. Military.
Oh,
And
person?
that would be
But you do the same type of thing you just did, kind of like with the
military, right? Soldier, military. And then what do you want to say about the troops?
They're following.
Military. It's two thumbs.
It's like 8 hands.
Oh, 8 hands. Okay.
Troops against the English.
You just say English right. And you're gonna have your war. You're not gonna say troops.
Troops.
My definition is troops. Okay?
When you talk about the language, English, you still
English.
is
Okay? Siege.
I don't even know what that
Take?
is.
like siege, place.
To take?
Take
Yes,
off.
like, and siege with British.
Say it.
And siege with British.
What does that mean?
Like, I don't know.
You find out, you ask. Dorian? What is it?
I'm sorry. During 100 Years' War.
What about it?
Is going on.
I don't think so. Just ask.
What it says.
I don't know.
No, what's your point?
I don't know what my point is. And siege with British during 100 Years' War.
What comes before that?
Nothing.
That's your sentence, and siege with, that doesn't even make sense. It's kind of like potatoes. Like,
Joan of Arc lead French troops during 100 Years' War.
So Joan of Arc is what? I missed it because I
Leads French troops during 100 Years' War.
leads the French troops.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do we need to say? In ASL, what do we need to say? Yep.
You probably put 100 years more first because that's what I was saying.
Right. So at that time, right, it's a name, right? The 100 Years War. Who was like the person? Joan of Arc. She was responsible for you at that point because she actually was in the battles. So you can say she was, she was in the fighting. She was in the war. I would do this like with quotes, like she led them, like that kind of thing. Because she literally was a figure on the battlefield. Does that make sense?
She the one that they burned alive and said that her heart was left on the stake. Yeah. It's pretty cool. That's
What
alive.
the fuck?
Okay,
You
elect.
are cool.
Elect the president.
Vote.
Oh. Wait. Elect.
You did military. What's connect?
Military.
Connect tunnels.
What does that look like? Alright. Well, it's English. What do you really say? What does it look like?
Just two tunnels.
What do you think?
Two. Sorry.
I don't have to be sorry. I can pick anybody else's words and we'll have the same very conversation. Yeah.
Can you do elect again?
Elect. Vote.
Oh wait, no, channel tunnel.
What about it?
It's like a thing. It's a place.
Name it. Right.
So
It's a property. Right.
Right.
Okay. Colonies.
Like that's a group, right?
My words are all over there.
Like
What are you trying to say?
That's fuck.
group of people in a place.
I know what a colony is. I don't know how you would try to use it. So I have to imagine you don't just have random words on that piece of paper, that there is some thought process here.
Who's controls colonies?
tell you all right now
It's an
what's a
established
colony.
town that's ruled by a foreign nation.
Right, okay, so, right, we were one colony, please tell me, how many of you were supposed to graduate this year? Nine. How many did you take 4?
I did terrible, terrible.
I had heard that.
I got like a C in
The definition
that.
of colony is because we were once one. Lisa Marie to the slight rescue of recognizing that a colony is a small place in a different country ruled by a foreign country. Yes?
Huh.
Okay. So what does that look like?
Shh.
Area people what?
Ruled.
Control. So you might want to set up, it depends on how much you're talking about them. So if you want to set them up, and then that way you can refer back to them, and you can call them, if they're called the colonies, like if that's how we generally refer to them, then you can say, like this area, show the countries. So if it was America and England, that would be friends, then you'd have the United States, right? You'd have England here, and then over here are the colonies, and you can say the colonies and just have them set up. And then you don't have to refer to them by the name anymore because we know that they're there. So they are controlled, right? Because this is the country that's controlling them, and it could be any country, whatever you do. Controlling them, and then whatever it is you want to say. Did they go to war? Did they beat them? And at this point now, we don't have to say words anymore. They're there. The colonies are on the left, the country controlling them is on the right, and you can talk about these things. So it's France and whoever, it doesn't matter. Once you set them up, you don't have to keep saying the colonies, the colonies. That's something we do in English. In ASL, we point to it and we body shift. Okay? So what you want to do, which is why people are back to saying, what are you talking about? What are you saying? Most of your stuff needs to be set up. I don't want to see the colonies 100 times. I shouldn't have to. I should see them.
The shift and stuff.
Yep, I should see the shit that talks about that. So when the war is happening, and the woman Joan of Arc, and Joan of Arc should have a name, right? We'll pick up a name, make one up, or she's a warrior. Okay, woman in history, right? So what about her? Like she was there, true business, fighting, right? People thought she was crazy. The result, they killed her, whatever. Do you see what I mean? But it shouldn't be Joan of Arc led the troops to, right? Joan of Arc, no, right? Joan gets set up, she's there, and then we become set up.
I'm
Am I clear?
I can't even concentrate right now.
Or we did start,
I don't know. Like starts.
close, start,
Start.
between your fingers,
Start.
start. Yep, begin, start, but it's your index finger and your middle finger. Index finger and your middle finger.
What?
The other index finger. There you go.
Start.
Start, beginning, etc. I don't know what you just said, Emma, but I heard the same shit, and I have to imagine it's probably not. What?
I did it first with you.
So how does it become the same shit if it's
Because
not?
I did it when you were there.
So, defeat, well, this is win. So they can be defeated, right? You can beat them. They can lose. Lose.
Okay, goose.
The result, it's a very English word. So a lot of these words, which is why I'm giving you a hard time, are setting yourself up to sign very English-like sentences.
Bum bum bum.
That will get you a very poor grade.
Bum bum bum.
It's ASL, not English. Okay? So set it up and tell the story. And I promise you, if you tell the story, you're going to do much better because that's what ASL is. So you can even say, that's her. That she led them into war in what year? 17, 1600, maybe earlier? 15? 14. The 1400s. Women are cattle. They have no rights. She's on a battlefield fighting with men. Can we say a hello Joan of Arc here?
Yeah.
Can we pretend that women in the United States
Girl
just have
power.
the right to go into battle? 1900s? I mean, 2000s?
Hoorah.
So, 1400s. Chainmail, on a horse. She's badass. Okay? Alright.
So can you
results,
sign
but
that?
I don't know that
Badass.
this is the sign for result. I'm cautioning you hard. Very, very strongly.
Result. It's an R. Result.
Yeah. Power. Are we talking about her personal power or the power of the country? Power.
There's a bird's my arm.
Lightning. What do you think? We're talking about lightning, like thunder and lightning, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think? Close. What does lightning usually look like? Do you guys know which way lightning goes? I swear to God, this guy looks on my face. Where does lightning come from? Top
Sky.
down or bottom up?
Top down.
Right. And it usually looks like what?
I think it's
I did that.
Lady up Staten Island, but it's not rain. It's not rain. Okay. All right. A kilometer is just km.
K.
What was that?
Km.
K.
Outer space.
That's fine. We were saying that like the Great Barrier Reef is able to be seen from outer space, so we're gonna set up the reef and like I don't know, like is this a sign for space?
No.
Someone sounded to me once.
No, that's present. And so what I would say is when you set it up, and then you can say that's there, the Earth. When you're up here, like the moon, the sun, you can see it.
Okay. I went on
So-
an astronomy tour, and they signed space like this.
Probably space, not this, because this is the president.
Oh, they,
Maybe they signed space.
yeah,
space.
they did it like they.
Maybe that, but it would have to be bigger, like it would, because it's big.
Okay.
Okay, so definitely like that, but I would show it.
So just
So once you set up the reef, and you can say the Earth, you're on the moon, you can say it.
Hmm.
Okay. Like a rocket. And that's just it. Look down, because you're above it, and you can look down. And it's more interesting to watch than to just see all those signs. Expensive. Anybody?
Nine.
No. Anybody knows the sign?
Expensive?
Expensive.
I know.
Expensive.
Money. Expensive. Christmas is
Kinda like throwing away
expensive.
Wait, isn't that what's shop?
To buy,
Buy,
sell,
So
but
expensive.
okay. What do you do when you shop?
Grab it and throw it away.
You get?
Cow?
No, that's what I do. So it's like kind of like,
I think
some
it's
people
like
think
this.
of like kind of like your money. If you think of this as like your money, it's high.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot of the money, and now it's lost. A foreigner, quiet.
I know you gave us a sign, but I couldn't remember it.
I don't like it, but F.
F. Foreigner.
It's like
for
punish.
country.
What would you sign like tourists?
What are you talking about?
Just like many foreigners come here to visit this area.
I would say tourist.
Tourists.
Yeah.
Okay.
Taurus.
Information? 2 minutes, really? What's the time for information?
I don't know.
Knowledge. Knowledge to.
Information. I
If
have it.
you're looking up
Giving it
information,
away.
and it doesn't. Okay.
Have it
Information
and then
I'm
you
looking
give it
for.
away.
So it doesn't come to you.
No, this is information that's given to you, but by a person usually. Like the computer doesn't give me the information.
Right.
And I look for I might have said I look for information. I think at that point it might go either way. So maybe I'm looking for information to inform myself. Maybe not so far that way. So you told me that I can see the barrier reef from outer space. If I'm looking for information, it would be a closer sign.
Okay.
Okay. Presentations.
Yes, it's like everyone did their presentation. Right? Presentation. As if you're presenting something to the class.
What sign? Anyone? Presentation. Not here, not the queen wave, right up here. Presentations like your lecture. What's a cough and it hurt? What's that about? Questions. Are you kidding me? What's the time for questions? Right. So if you're asking them if there's any questions. Right. Questions. Am I asking the question to you, or are you asking it to me? Right. You say any questions? Any questions? Like a big one, like that's a general. Like any questions?
Questions?
Comments. Comments. Like little sentences. Comments. There are 8 hands. Comments. A message. Say it's time to use your message. Like, you want to leave a message? Comments. Okay. Make sense? What story? Story.
What's Starbucks?
Starbucks.
What story?
I want to show like
Or
Shop
describe it.
theater.
It's like this,
This.
right? Like a play?
Form.
Play? I don't understand what the question.
Like a show.
Oh, sure.
Like
Right.
That's
at a
not.
theater.
Same thing. So you're going to see a play where it's at a theater by definition. Okay. Good? Dominant? What are we saying? The main religion? Dominant.
Minor.
Minor.
Minor, minority.
Dominant. Minority.
Or if you rank them, if there's more than one, then you could say like Catholics, 95%. You know what I mean? If you want to rank them, you can do that way too. Law
Yeah.
passed. Let's sign for law. Anyone? Good. One law.
Is that
Law.
a no?
And it was approved. It's not passed, right? Because that's like we drive past each other. So a law that was approved or a law that was set up.
Wait, can you do law one more time?
The L.
Approved.
Like this?
Yeah.
Law.
It's palm down for lose.
Pass.
Okay,
Or
pay attention. I see what you're asking. Conquer. So it's your S hand, your constant hand is palm down. Your dominant hand goes over it. Conquer. Like, and if you think about it, like you go over them, you beat them. Approve. Palms up. It's kind of like if you think about like okay in your palm, like you've given it your okay. Or you can set up a law that was established. So those are fair. Disney movie. What's the time for Disney? Disney. Disney. What's the time for movie?
This.
Oh. Movie.
Not cheese.
No, cheese is
It
here.
was cheese, and I
No,
would have
cheese.
said movie, cheese,
Cheese.
clean, paper.
Cheese.
Atheist. What's an atheist?
No God.
Unbeliever.
That would mean no religion or no God. Doesn't believe in God. Okay. So then I would spell it. I don't know the sign, so I would spell it atheist, and then say they don't believe God. Until
Atheist is just no religion in general, though.
right, but there are people who believe in God but don't believe in formalized religion. Then the atheists don't believe there is a God,
Okay.
right?
I'm not arguing. I'm just saying.
No higher power. So I would go with the no God because by general terms, I think people assume a God with a religion.
Yeah.
Okay?
To poo.
So there are plenty of people who might believe in a higher power of some sort of God and don't believe in formalized religion, but believe there's something bigger than them. And then there are people who don't believe that there's anything. And I think that's really the point when you say there's no God. I think that's kind of in simple terms, and that's fine. Until what do you? Is that what? You, so if they were like, you want to go out, and you're like, work 7 finish, and then they can say, all right, I'll meet you 7:15. Whatever. Okay. Wine. Wine.
It's wine.
I would like this. Yeah, I know.
Well,
Wine.
by the word, it's
Wine.
the spell.
I would.
Wine.
Wait, is it W?
Yeah.
Yeah.
W.
What is
But if you were talking about whining as in terms of complaining, what's the sign?
I don't know.
Ooh.
No. What's the sign for complaining?
Begging.
Complaining is not begging. Complaining.
And then
Oh, my chest hurts.
So if you're whining, or have a complaint. Alright, so, for example, I just talked to, I had 4 voicemails with the class teacher, right? So he is complaining, right? He's not, the teacher's complaining that the side behavior is disruptive in class. When I have a conversation with the side tonight, he's going to whine that it's not just him. See the difference? Okay? See the difference. Same sign. Now, what if I want to go to, if I have a complaint against a company?
Well, we all just got mine.
What do you think? Same sign.
Oh, wow.
Told you, we got mine plugged.
We also use a sign for objection.
Objection.
Like the court.
Because what's the objection? The
It's
complaint
complaint.
is always being said. Okay. Now, Now, if you're
Reasonable.
prone to complaining, you may not whine, but you always have a complaint.
Over that
Right?
stuff.
Like the students are complaining about the week of finals, as opposed to whining. You see the difference? Everybody knows the difference between whine. My nephew was little, he would whine. It's so fucking annoying. So I'd say to him, "Are you whining?" And he'd say, "No." I said, "Open your mouth." And he opened his mouth and I said, "I see one." So then after that, he'd whine. I said, "You whining?" He'd say, "No." I said, "Open your mouth." He said, "But he stopped whining." Okay, city.
Many houses.
First city. What'd you say?
City.
What'd you say?
I was explaining.
So you said
City.
So city, you say it's the first city that was established? So then you need to say all that, like the first. And you want to show that the first, it's a big thing, right?
First.
So you want to establish the first. Like, because you guys have to remember your timelines when you're talking about stuff. Alright? So for us, it's hard to imagine there's a place that doesn't have a city. Because we have cell phones that we can take videos with, right? And go on the internet with, right? And we can see each other in other countries now, right? But there once was a time that people didn't know there were other countries.
You mean like
Right?
5 years
so think
ago?
about what that means to set up something. So when you're saying it's the first, right? It's not just the first. Like it's not like your first name, right? We all have first names, right? It's
I
the
did.
first, right? So you want to show those kind of emphasis. Remember what you're showing. These are things that you can do naturally, right? That are going to add to your presentation without adding extra vocabulary to you. Think about what you're saying. Don't look at this stuff like, oh yeah, whatever. Like think about the first city. Hello, Jordan Mark is badass. Are you home? Are you ready to throw down with him right now? Like over how many minutes you're gonna each be signing? Right? Go get your chain mail. Have you ever picked up chain mail? My bag is fucking too heavy for me. Imagine putting on chain mail. Okay, so think about this.
Next fucking topic.
City
Oh, can you say first like this too?
first. Yes, but not like if you want to sign like the first city, the first. But it could be first.
I'm
First,
doing,
second, third.
I want to go to Sydney first, so can I do that?
So yeah, first. And if you're gonna, well, if you're saying I want to go to Sydney first, then what's second?
I see what you're saying.
Right? So by definition, then I would even almost go with the list. My first thought is to say go with the list. If you're saying I want to go to Sydney first, then that implies there's a second.
We don't have a plan, we're just taking a one-track concept.
Well, but you do have a plan, right? The plan is to go on a road trip, right? And the plan is to go to more than one place, yeah? Okay, so you might want to say, I don't care where we go, as long as we go to Sydney first. The assumption, because otherwise your road trip is to Sydney. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So then you can use it like that. Then your position could be like, you decide, but first Sydney. I don't care. I don't care what these are. Makes sense, right? And it could be part of these. You know, I don't care how you do it, but you see how you can play with them. But by definition, if something is first, there has to be a second. Otherwise, it's an only. How many of you are only children?
Not me.
Let me know.
Yeah, right?
So, do your parents ever say, "This is my first child"? Do you ever say, "I'm the first child"? Oh, how about this year? None. I'm just the first. Okay? No, right? You're the only. Okay? So just think about those kinds of things, how it plays out, because that's going to influence your sign choices and how you set stuff up. Okay? Sound?
Founded, like, city was founded.
Settle.
Because it's
Set up.
Set up.
Set up. Set up.
If we didn't
Founded.
find the city, right? So it's not like we haven't covered it. Pinky?
Oh,
Debbie
that's how
found
we're,
it as well.
Yeah.
like picky eater.
Let me go back to that one.
Celebrate?
This one?
Celebrate?
Celebrate.
Turn up.
Not Orthodox girl.
Da-da-da.
Celebrate. But what are you saying? They celebrate.
Yeah, they celebrate holidays such as
You can say their holidays are different. Celebrate always seems a weird term. In
Well,
ASL doesn't make
so-
sense.
our sentence was then it was Australia Day is like July 4th, but it's celebrated on January 21st.
So I wouldn't say celebrate. So you can say
Similar.
Australia Day is what?
Same. Same
January
as-
21st.
Okay, but it's like the 4th of December, Independence Day.
Yeah.
So you can say Australia Day, idea same. 4th of July, their day, January
24.
24th.
What's idea?
Comparison.
Can you do it one more time?
I'll
idea.
tell you right now.
No, I just want to make sure I'm doing it.
Can you say that one more time? I want to write down the syntax.
I would set them up. Okay. So I would have I just tend to the one I'm talking about is on my right. The one I compare to tends to be on my left. Okay. So I would say Australia Day is idea same. 4th of July. And then I would just point back to Australia Day again. I'm not gonna say it again. And say, but that day, January, I forgot, 21st. Got it? And then that's it.
Okay.
You don't need the extra words because it doesn't make sense to me, Nancy. I see people use it, but I'm always like, I was thinking something else. I was thinking it's a party, like they're telling me about a party as opposed to that it's celebrated. So,
Similar but not same. Is that
idea same.
so? Australia and the United States are similar but not the same. How do I sign that?
I would similar. Look at my face.
Similar.
Not the same.
So I'll say similar, not the same.
Right. You don't have to. You can say they're similar. By definition, similar means not the same.
Okay.
Don't add. You know what I mean? And then, because what you're going to give examples, yes?
Yeah.
So your examples are going to show us.
Okay.
So you're going to say what they're both democratic, right? Whatever, right? Okay, make sense? Alright, sports? Sports, competition? Rugby, I have no sign for it, just spell it, cricket the same.
Should we spell it or should we find how they sign it or?
I looked it up, but it was.
Rugby is so much like football, and I think maybe that's kind of how they sign. I've seen rugby sign that way, but it's not a popular American sport, so I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's some good people who like rugby. West Coast tends to. It's kind of like football without padding.
Ooh, that
a little
sounds
more
fun.
hardcore. It's terrifying. So that's how I would say rugby. If you're gonna refer to it again, give it its own sign. Rugby, and then call it that. Cricket.
We're only gonna say.
I told you the story of the first time I
What the
saw
fuck
cricket.
is cricket, anyways?
So we had just started having, must have been the late 80s, early 90s, we started having a large Caribbean immigration. And I was in Brooklyn, and I drive past this park often, and I've always
They
seen
do rugby
men
in
playing
Ireland, I'm pretty
what
sure.
kind of looked like baseball. But it wasn't baseball. But it had a similar, so I went to my friend, I said, what is that black people baseball they play?
It's like a
And
mix
she's like,
between.
what are you talking about? I said, I only see them, they're well dressed, they have on white, like white Sunday clothes on, like linen pants, a linen shirt, they look nice. And they're playing a game that kind of resembles baseball, clearly not. Clearly a game, I don't know what it is. She started dying. She's singing me cricket? I guess I do, I've never seen it. I only see black men playing it, they're well dressed, playing, running around bases. I don't
It is the most stupid sport. Like I went to go see it was like their World Series when I was in Australia and I went to go see a game and I was like, this is so boring.
Doesn't matter what they
It's
It really is.
Or baseball's boring too, so just say baseball.
Yeah.
Idea same. Baseball is boring no matter.
No, I mean like.
Dinosaur?
Is this
Dinosaur.
Aww.
Are you kidding me? What's the sign for important? No. Yeah.
Sorry, on the dinosaur subject, prehistoric would you say like before history?
Yeah, I would give it its title.
Yeah.
Like, I would call it prehistoric
Okay,
because it's a proper title.
okay.
Christian. Sign for Christian.
Is that the same as Catholic?
Isn't it the
No.
cross?
Catholics are H hand.
Oh, sorry.
It's not the palm. It's not Ash Wednesday.
Shit.
Sign for Christian. Christian. We've done this already.
That's what I thought.
Opposite shoulder, Gabby.
Shit, I always do that. Christian.
Discover.
Is it like they Australians discovered an animal that existed in the time of the dinosaurs? So I don't know if I should use find because they
Yeah, but show it like kind of impressive. Okay. A symbol. Or what kind of symbol are we talking about?
kangaroos are symbols for Australia.
Yeah, symbol.
Represent.
Kangaroo, you already know.
Is it the same as Australia?
Yeah.
Okay, so my question then is, if I want to say that it's a symbol and that it's the same sign. Like that's how important they are to that place.
So kangaroo, the animal, has become a symbol for the country.
Animal.
I wouldn't say Australia again because we already know something about Australia.
If this I looked up, this was discovered. Is that?
Yeah.
So I can do that, like Australia. This one's makes sense.
Well, it's
I just couldn't.
potato. It's potato. What is this potato?
Wait,
Potato.
thank you. Can you explain that one more time? What I said before, that it was so important it became a symbol.
Kangaroos,
Kangaroos.
important. They become the symbol for the country.
So what? But I should sign animal. Animal.
Right.
Animal.
Like
Symbol
Australia.
for the country.
Because it is the animal. Known as. What is it?
Fuck.
France, they called before they called it name. Right? They called it quote.
Sounds like no food.
Quote.
You have potato.
Okay, because it's
Did
a, otherwise it doesn't make sense. Prime
Yeah,
Minister.
well, let's make sure.
I would say you can you have to spell it, and if you need to refer to it again, you can say Prime Minister's an idea same like the president. You give him a PM if you need to.
CQ, can I close the window?
Yeah, sure. You can shut the door. Why don't you shut the door? I'll probably stop the.
It's freezing in here.
Yeah, you can shut it. It'll probably stop the flow.
It's a bit nibby.
Sculpture.
Dapper.
A sculpture. Whose word is sculpture? Hey,
Is that koala?
Yeah.
It's adorable.
My neck hurts.
right? A statue's kind of sculpture. Yeah.
How did you do, I'm sorry, how did you do Prime Minister? I didn't.
Spell it, and then you can say idea same president. Okay. Koala. I don't have a sign for koala.
I don't have a sign for eucalyptus either.
The tree, but you would say it's a tree. I say it smells like cat pee, but but.
Yeah.
That's all cat pee. I hate it.
Alright, calm down. But it's OD.
Am I lying? You guys
No,
know-
it smells like pee. Cat pee, it does.
What is that?
Oh god. Oh, I don't like that smell.
It's
I want the best vibe.
the thing that they put on cucumbers when they place them on your eyes. They put cucumbers such an eucalyptus whenever you're in a spa. That's what I.
This kind of lax life you live, Michael. That sounds like a really lax life.
Word.
Constitution.
Constitution.
Is that the sign for something else too?
It's civil.
But it's similar to.
Law.
Law.
Also, sometimes you see the sign in the Bible, like the Christian Bible.
Bible.
Yes.
Not the Catholic Bible. The Catholic Bible would be the Jesus Bible.
So the multiple sign. Yes, the multiple sign.
Jesus.
Oh, what is it really? I didn't even know it was
Like.
What's Jesus?
Only one Jesus.
No, I know.
So you said which Jesus?
I said, what's Jesus?
Oh, what's Jesus? That's one.
We're having do-to-do moments here.
Continent. Spell it and show it. The equator. Show it.
So that one was, we're saying that the climate's opposite of America because they're below the equator.
Right. So what would you have to do?
So I was gonna say like the Earth and go like this and be like here and here. Is that right? Okay.
And you don't have to show here, right? So you can show the Earth, make it bigger so it's easier to see. Okay? So you say you have the Earth, right? Here, right? You can do that half up. I would do that way, half up and half down, and it's here. Okay. So then you can say it's hot, whatever. Okay?
That whole
Um,
side is always pretty.
Road trip? What do you think?
Okay, do you show the car or do you show actual driving?
You can show the car. You can be like,
Wait, was it?
driving
Yeah.
on the trip.
Let's go driving. Road trip.
Seafood? Describe it. Fish, lobster, crab.
No,
Crabs.
like in general, like they have seafood, they have Meat, they have.
I would say
You
fish.
forgot the lyrics.
Fish, meat.
What to the song?
I think in general that's kind of what we think of as seafood. I think if somebody said they have fish, you would assume they have some other kind of crustacean. And then wine. What's time for beer?
Oh, I knew
Beer?
this. Beer.
Juice?
What's this one?
I don't think
Juice.
juice.
Oh, this isn't
Juice.
Not up here.
Oh, I got that juice.
Shellin.
Juice.
oh
You're doing it wrong. Shellin.
Juice.
no, I switched this to here. So which juice you just
Popular.
Is this? That's famous, right? Not the same. Or this?
What play is that super popular?
Wicked.
Every time I see that in my head, I go here.
I know.
Popular?
Popular.
How about population?
The people. The people.
What?
The people.
Population.
Crocodile.
Crocodile.
I don't know what evil means.
It's an animal. Spell.
You know what? Who's that's you guys? Show what it looks like.
How the fuck?
So you can say if it looks like right, exactly. Right. Well, next, got whatever. Nation is country. What are we trying to say?
They became a nation under one constitution.
Then I would say, were they separate?
Yeah, they have 6 states, so it was kind of like America, where.
So you can say like they were they were small, right? Quotes again like states, because the state means our states, right?
Yeah.
But like this, and then they came together, and became right. Became one country. You can say one nation.
Okay.
I would say country. I think that just gives it a bit of more visual. Church, cut it out. It's time for church. Garcia's got it. No. If I say you got it, just do what I say. Because now what does he have?
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
I was
Okay.
thinking, 'cause
It's a very different meaning.
I know, I go through the motions because I have like church, chocolate, computer all on.
Right. But somebody asked a question.
Okay.
I said you got it.
We're good.
What do you do? Show them the wrong shit. That's shady. That's shady. But then she's gonna sign this and she's gonna say, you told me Garcia got it. That's what he showed me. Garcia's gonna be like,
You already told everybody that was wrong, so.
Church.
only because I happen to turn around and catch you.
Church.
Otherwise, Miss Marie would have been like, yeah, we go to chocolate every
Chocolate.
Sunday. Take it easy on that. Matter of fact, class was easy. Okay, read. I know we have to spell and describe. Orthodox.
Wait, was there another one? Didn't I write star? Did I get it right?
is this star like you just
Like, I'd
like
rather
facial
star.
expression?
Starve. Like, you want to say I'd rather starve, but I'd rather not eat. Like, I'd rather never eat again. That, really, that's what you're saying, because you're not starving. So you can say, like, rather never eat.
No, can you do it a little slower?
Rather never eat again. Write it down. All work it out.
Rather eat again.
What word do you not know?
Rather.
Prefer.
And never is.
You know never.
This is where you got it.
Yeah,
Okay?
okay.
So you have to see what
Or something like that. And
Orthodox. Is this for the Russians? Who's this?
Yeah, I know.
And also for Russian, like if you're talking about Russians in general, would it be like
Mr.
time for
Newman.
Russia?
Bitch.
You can probably just say Russia if you're talking about if it's clear that you're talking about people.